Hey everyone, it's Ryan Turley here. Thanks so much for stopping by. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, I really appreciate it. And if you're already a subscriber, this is one you're not gonna wanna miss. So it's after the holidays, I've got a fridge full of turkey meat, and I'm gonna be using those for an amazing turkey pot pie. It's actually so easy and definitely worth a little bit of effort to get this turkey pot pie dialed in. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it right now. Okay, so here we go with the pie crust. Again, if you're not interested in making your own pie crust, just fast forward through this bit. So I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 7 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 7 tablespoons of vegetable shortening, 1 teaspoon salt, and some ice water here. I plan on adding about 1/3 to 2/3 of a cup of ice water, just depending on how much it takes to get this flour fully saturated. And just one easy rule of thumb when you are making a pie crust from scratch, you want to keep all the ingredients as cold as possible. I also froze my mixing bowl, our 3 cups of flour. We're gonna cube our butter and shortening. So we're gonna take our salt and incorporate that into the flour. Combine your salt, and then we're gonna blend the shortening in next. So add all your cubes. And then we are gonna combine these two with a fork until we've got some pea-sized flour here. All right, and that texture is looking really good. It's just a little bit clumpy, but we've incorporated all of that shortening. And now we add our cold cubed butter. And we're just gonna smash all of this butter in to our dough. And you do still want some buttery clumps here. That's what's gonna give us that flaky crust. All right, now we add our ice water. I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons at a time and just incorporate some of the dough in with that water. Here we go with our second third of a cup. So with 2/3 of a cup of ice water, I think we're right at the consistency that we want. This dough is fully saturated and is holding together. So I'm just gonna roll this up into a nice ball. Now lay down some flour on your work surface. We're gonna separate it into 2. And I'm gonna refrigerate these while we get our filling going. And here's everything we're gonna use for our filling. So I've got 1/3 of a cup each of all-purpose flour and butter for our roux. Then we're gonna dice 1 onion. I'm gonna remove the skin from these 2 potatoes, cube them up, and pre-cook these in boiling water. I've also got 2/3 a cup of milk. And then our dry seasonings, we're working with a 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary, sage, parsley, and thyme. And then I've got 1.5 cups of frozen vegetables. You can use whatever you've got, but you do want to defrost these and just get them as close to room temp as you can before you add everything in. And then the stars of our show, I'm gonna be using 1 cup of this turkey broth. So I reduced this broth down from our turkey carcass, and this tastes amazing. I'm really excited to incorporate this, but you can just as easily use chicken broth or vegetable stock, whatever you've got. And then of course our chopped up leftover turkey. So I've got 2 cups here. Let's go. Now we're gonna add our diced potatoes to some cold water and about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And once this comes to a boil, set your timer for about 7 minutes and just check this with a fork and make sure it's done. Over medium heat, we're gonna add our butter and onions. Let that simmer for just a couple minutes, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. And now we add our flour, dry seasonings, a little bit of kosher salt, and crushed black pepper. And then simmer this for another couple minutes. And here is our turkey broth. And we're gonna slowly add 1 cup, stirring as we go. Then we do the same with our milk. And let everything simmer just for about a minute or 2. Should be a really thick consistency. Now we killed the heat and we're gonna add our frozen veggies and our cubed turkey. Finally, our pre-cooked diced potatoes. And then we'll set this filling aside to cool. All right, let's get this pie crust dialed in. Take your first dough ball out of the fridge and press it flat with your hands. Then take a rolling pin and roll that out nice and slow to about 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's just about 1 inch past your pie dish. Roll it up in your rolling pin and then roll it back out over the pie dish. Now rinse and repeat. Next, take your turkey pot pie filling and lay that down in your pie dish. Now roll out the second pie crust over the top and cut off any excess. Bring in your better half to crimp the edges, or if she's not around, just use a fork. Cut some slits into the top of your pie crust to let it breathe. And now beat 1 egg for the egg wash to go on top. Now throw it into your preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius for about 35 to 40 minutes until nice and browned. Look at that. All right, we made it. So this turkey pot pie has been resting for about 15 to 20 minutes. Soleil, my daughter here, really wants to try it, so we gotta jump into this and give it a taste test super quick. And here we go with the taste test. This crust turned out awesome. I don't know if you can hear that. Here we go. Unbelievable. The turkey, definitely the star of the show. It's so good. This pie crust is perfect. It turned out amazing. All right, so if you do try this recipe or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss another upload. I post videos weekly about smoking meats on my Traeger grill, and I'll be sure to include leftover ideas like this moving forward. All right, and if you're still tuned in, thanks so much, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.